Time for another edition of Litter Media Live, our special edition today, focusing on Oktoberfest with Tiffany Baldwin. We're going to talk more about this event coming up in just a moment right after this from Hometown Motors Incorporated.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe for Hometown Motors Incorporated. Downtown Chillicothe is represented by Tiffany Baldwin. But we need to have a sash of some sort for you that says Miss Chillicothe or something like that. Well, it would be Mrs., wouldn't it?
Mrs., yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Yes.
In September.
Yes, in September, on the 21st of September,
yes.
to be exact. Believe it or not, in Germany, they start Oktoberfest in September. So we're only following suit.
Precisely. May as well. What is different than last year?
So the main thing that's different this year is we are starting an hour earlier, which is 3 o'clock versus 4. And we're adding a dog costume contest this year, whereas we didn't have that yet last year. We'll still have the wiener dog races because that was a huge hit last year. But we want to find another way for people to involve their dogs because people love their dogs. Mm-hmm. So that's what we've added this year.
The wiener dog races occurred in the majestic green space, right? Mm-hmm. Stay in the same area?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's easier to corral them in that area.
And if you ever tried to corral wiener dogs, how many entries did you have last year? Was there like 50?
Yes, and that's what we're going to cap it out again this year.
Is that
It's
right?
50 for both the races and the costume contest.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
And it can be the same dog.
It can be?
It can be the same dog,
All right.
yeah.
Nice. Outside of, and I know that's the big attraction is the wiener dog races. Outside of that, what is going on as well?
So we also market this as a family-friendly event. And we kind of like to start the event as the family-friendly portion of the event. So we're going to have a little kids corner where we're going to have some face painting and some hair braids, things like that to attract the kids as they're there maybe watching the wiener dog races or the costume contest because that's right up their alley. And then about 6 o'clock or so when we're done with the races, it'll kind of transition more. I don't want to call it an adult event, but definitely more beer drinking will happen at that time and some games. Kids can still be there. It's not like it gets out of control. So parents, feel free to bring your children because a lot of people do, even into the night. But the face painting and such will be done at that point in time.
I recall a former boss of mine, Dave Smith, used to own the radio station, one of the radio stations here in town, actually went as far as getting lederhosen.
Yes.
And he looked like he was from Germany.
Yes. I encourage you to come in your costumes for sure. And there is an entry fee to get into this event. It's $5. But if you have a lederhosen or a dirndl on, then it's $3.
Oh,
so,
a little discount.
a little discount.
Pretty nice.
And we do have a costume contest. So that'll be announced at 9 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And you've got a Stein. Steins are being used.
Yes.
All across the board.
Yes. So we do 3 events or whatever, contests that evening. And the first one we start with is Stein holding. Is that what we start with? Anyway, so Stein holding is one. Yodeling is the very last one. We like people to kind of feel good and kind of let their musical talent flow, if you will. So that's the very last contest. And then we have this year, as we have in the past, we're participants for the U.S. Steinholding Championship, which is held in Cincinnati. So we're a qualifying venue in Chillicothe. So the male and female that win each of their divisions can go to Cincinnati to compete for the state competition in Steinholding. So yeah, and then the other contest is beer chugging. So just traditional German games.
Now, when you're holding the Stein, does it have beverage in it?
It does. It's full.
So that just weights it down even more.
For sure.
Which is what makes it so interesting. If you've ever tried to hold something for a certain amount of time, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier.
Yes.
And so what constitutes I'm out?
Well, so Lori Graves is our MC, and she doesn't let anything fly. So
Not at all.
she's read all of the rules and instructions that we have to follow according to the U.S. Steinholding Association, or they can't compete in Cincinnati if they wish to go forward. So their elbows can't bend. They can't put their arm against their body. It has to stay on an even plane, so they can't decrease it. They can't spill beer out of it. They can't obviously drink any of it. So there's a whole bunch of rules that Lori is well versed in, and she'll call you out if you're not doing it correctly.
I'm trying to remember how long the winners held
gosh.
last year.
It's longer than you think. I mean, I can't remember either because I was running around as the event was occurring, but it's longer than you think.
Yeah. And for some of these people, I got to wonder, they're used to doing this, and you're just anticipating a drink,
Right.
But you got to hold it out there.
And I forget who told me that's like your forearm muscle is what you're actually using when you do that. So if you have strong forearms, definitely enter. It's not your bicep.
Adina Orthopedic will be there to
There you go.
keep an eye on you as well. It is always a fun event, and like you say, it's become a family fun event as well.
Right. And we have music. So we'll start out with DJ Hazel Tanner in the beginning, and then it transitions over at 7 p.m. to Whiskey Ridge. So we, in the past, have had bands, traditional German bands come in and play, but they're harder and harder to get, and there are fewer and fewer between. So,
And there's so many accordion players.
there are. So we just give them a space where they can hear some really good music, some local talent. So yeah,
And Whiskey Ridge.
Whiskey
is the band
Ridge.
this
Yeah,
time,
it is. Yes.
Very nice. Everything wraps up at about what time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. So starting at
3
3
to 10
to 10.
on East
7
2nd.
hours of Oktoberfest. And if you've driven around town, you've seen the banners up promoting it and everything. And, of
Yes.
course, following here on Facebook, you've got a lot of things there, too. Let me check with our producer. Have you put a link to the Oktoberfest event in this post? I put a link to downtown Chillicothe. Okay. So that'll take you right to where you need to get everything.
Correct.
Anything we have missed?
I think we hit it all. Oh, well, no, let me tell, so there will be some German food there. So we traditionally ask only our downtown brick and mortar businesses to participate. So we have 4 that have stepped up this year that are bringing some German inspired foods. So yeah, we'll have that available as well. And then the Poorhouse is providing German beer. So by all means, come eat and drink all things German.
Yeah. There's got to be a pretzel involved somewhere, too.
Absolutely, there is.
I think a lot of people don't realize the German heritage of Chillicothe and how Oktoberfest wouldn't be what's this happening
Right.
here? Because it was part of what Chillicothe was originally.
Exactly. Yes.
So, and it's not just Cincinnati, or should I say Cincinnati,
Cincinnati.
but here in Chillicothe. Looking forward to it. September 21st.
Yes.
All right. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Tiffany Baldwin with Downtown Chillicothe, Ohio, and we will talk to you again on another edition of Litter Media Live.